Welcome back to my ongoing Doctor Who breakdown, which is much more of a... It was a funny title last video. I don't especially want to be doing this now, but so I've just watched Series 2, Episode 10, Love and Monsters, and I don't want to be doing this now, but I think I should, because I tend to have very strong opinions on media. If I love something, I really love it. If I hate something, I really hate it. And that can come across as like performatively having a controversial opinion because you enjoy being controversial and you enjoy being a contrarian and blah. And I have had to stop talking to multiple people just about art because I get really upset when people just go, "Oh, you just don't like anything." And if you've been watching these videos, I really hope that comes across as not actually true. I like loads of stuff. Like, nothing makes me happier than when the reason I love Doctor Who, genuinely, is because when Doctor Who is good, it makes me feel glad to be alive. It's exciting, it's often unexpected, it's pacifist, which is amazing, it's vital. It's joyous to watch. At its best, there's kind of nothing quite like it. Let's start. I moved Gun Fireplace down a bit. I couldn't decide if it was very good or good. Doesn't matter. Idiot's Lantern. Okay. Idiot's Lantern is an interesting one. Because they are going for a very specific style. I think. I'm not an expert on Alfred Hitchcock, but I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to do a Hitchcock. There are so many Dutch angles. It was really weird to watch Doctor Who and for there to be maybe one or two Dutch angles every few episodes or so. And then in Idiot's Lantern, like every fourth shot? No, it's not that frequent, but like usually every scene will have multiple Dutch angles. And like harsh lighting. It's shot with a very specific style. Usually I like it when a show is going for a very specific stylized look. But and one of the reasons why Idiot's Lantern is kind of confounding to me is it's not very good, and I don't know why I don't like it. Is it because the style just doesn't work? Like, they didn't have the right chops to pull it off? Euros Lyn, who directed Idiot's Lantern, can be very good at his job. He's directed multiple really good episodes and multiple really bad ones. So he directed End of World. So in Series 1, End of World and Unquiet Dead, neither of which were particularly well directed. The acting was good, so we can chop it. Tooth and Claw, directing was not great. Girl on Fireplace, very good directing. Idiot's Lantern, terrible. Fear Her, haven't seen it. Runaway Bride, don't remember. Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, two of Doctor Who's best episodes. And then The End of Time, Part 1 and Part 2, which were terrible. So, like, his track record is not great. But he's done some really amazing work, so he can do it. But in the end, Idiot's Lantern, it doesn't work. It's not a particularly interesting story. Rose gets her face melted off halfway through, which is a really weird time for that to happen. Having the companion's face be melted off, that's something you really, like, you save for the darkest hour. Like the Dark Night of the Soul, in the third act. You don't do it at the midpoint. And, like, because the companion gets ganked halfway through, like, all the tension goes. You're like, well, they're not gonna write Billy Piper out in episode 7, so they're all gonna get their faces back. Rose and the Doctor's chemistry still feels really forced. Like, I was talking to my spouse about this, and we were going, like, is this because we're both neurospicy, and what we see, we see the Doctor and Rose, like, have this really, like, forced jollity, like, they seem to be trying to make it look as if they really get on, but they don't actually have any chemistry. And so, like, our weird brains are looking at that, and the brain's going, this is wrong, something's forced about this, something's off, something's off, something's off. I don't like the Doctor or Rose in this series. The Doctor is extremely judgy. He's snippy. He just doesn't seem to do a whole lot and doesn't really seem to care about anything. In The Idiot's Lantern is a really great example. They go into this house where they have a classic patriarch who's abusing his wife and kid. And they, rather than, like, have a quiet moment of connection with the wife and the kid like they might have done in series 1, the Doctor and Rose just focus on humiliating the dad. And that it's clearly seen a moment to be like them taking the dad down a peg or two, but anyone who knows anything about, like, abusive patriarchs would know that the second, like, humiliating an abusive patriarch in front of the people he abuses and then leaving, like, Rose and the Doctor put that wife and child in very serious physical danger. Like, this guy's been humiliated. He is an abuser. He's gonna beat the shit out of them. And then at the end, the wife, like, kicks the husband out, and the Doctor, Rose, and the kid, who's, like, I don't know, 14, watch the husband leave, and Rose goes,
Tommy, go off, Graham.
What for?
He's your dad.
He's an idiot.
Of course he is. Like I said, he's your dad. But you're clever. Clever enough to save the world, so don't stop there. Go on.
yes, he's his dad. He's also his abuser. Idiot's Lantern makes the world worse by its existence because it, like, has this specific instruction, the specific meaning. Kids, forgive your abuser. It would be bad enough in a show that isn't a family show. Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit are really bad. Like, nothing about them works. Nothing. It's so weird. The most egregious thing about it is the Ood. The Ood are in this thing, and, like, they get called out. They're a basic slave race, right? And everything about the Ood is terrible, like, including the show, like, characters justifying it in the same, using the same terms, using the same, like, justifications that people historically have justified actual slavery. And early on, Rose has you keep slaves? And the characters go, oh, are you one of those Ood saviors or whatever? And Rose goes, well, maybe I am. And then it's never mentioned again. Like, all the Ood die, some get shot, and, like, it's a bit sad. And at the end, the Doctor's like, oh, well, I couldn't save Ood. I had to save this one woman instead. It's like, why does she get saved? And not, you know, the slaves. It's what you call them, show. You did this. No one made you make the Ood slaves. They could have been just local workers. Local telepathic workers. No one made you make them slaves. Oh my god. The bad, like, a human gets possessed by Satan, and the effect they went with is red contact lenses and runes written on his face in Sharpie. I have literally done that for Halloween parties. The fact that it's literally Satan is so dumb. Like, as in the first episode, the Doctor's like, oh, it's 6.66.66666 or whatever, and they're like, oh, that's a lot of sixes. Like, yeah. and the image of fucking Satan is actually Satan. It's just it's really weirdly specific about certain things, and they're trying to be all philosophical and go, oh, is this Satan, or like, is this where the idea of Satan started? Oh, I guess we'll never know. But it doesn't follow its own rules. It does. Like, after I watched it, I sort of wanted to do a full, like, breakdown of the 2 episodes, because it is fascinating how I was finding it genuinely fascinating as an instance of, like, hey guys, let's examine this, because all the choices are baffling and none of it works, and I feel like we can learn from this. I just don't have the energy. Like, yeah, they're both just terrible, guys. Love and Monsters. Most of Love and Monsters is fine. It's just kind of nothing. The characters are fine. The story is fine. The only time it comes alive is when Jackie is on screen. Jackie continues to be, like, Russ can write her well. Presumably he's known some Jackies in real life. Russell can write her in his sleep when he's not doing anything else well. And believe me, Love and Monsters, nothing is done well. He can still do Jackie. And the person who plays Jackie is still really fucking good. But, like, so Love and Monsters is just kind of nothing. The protagonist, he has character traits. His character traits are, his mum died, he met the Doctor when he was little, he likes the Electric Light Orchestra, and he's in love with the girl who plays Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter. So that's not a character, that's a collection of trivia, and that's all he got. The lead actor's really good in other things. He plays Kalinda's abusive ex-partner in The Good Wife, and he plays the, like, evil fairy in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Both of those he's really fucking good in. And in this, he is trying. You can, like, he brings some stuff to the role that definitely isn't on the page. But it's like, there's just nothing there. And then at the end, it's so stupid. The monster is terrible, and the solution to the monster problem is just awful. Both the Doctor and Rose are shit. Like, they're just terrible people. Like, so they have this Doctor Who fan club sort of thing, and they all get absorbed into this fucking body, this alien, and the protagonist is sort of getting away, and, like, he confronts the alien, and the TARDIS shows up, and Rose charges out and approaches him going, "You upset my mum, you fuck." And, like, Rose, 5 people are dead. There is an alien, a murderous alien, standing right there, and you are upset that your, like, this guy did a pretty questionable thing to your mum. It's not that bad, but, you know, whatever. You're upset by that. Could you not make this about yourself for like 30 seconds? Can you wait until there is not literally a murderous alien standing right there? Could you not wait until that whole thing is resolved before we deal with that chip you've got on your shoulder, please, Rose? Seriously, like, Rose and Tennant, I have heard, like, held up as, like, this really great dramatic pairing. It's fucking awful, guys. Like, they're both shitty people, and they make each other worse. I watched a lot of Doctor Who as a kid. It's a show I genuinely love. And, like, if any Doctor, like, showed up and offered me the chance to go with them, I would, including Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, and including this incarnation, including this version, this one of 12, because 12 does get better. I'm pretty sure I hope 12 gets better. But, like, if this version of 12 showed up and Rose was there and they asked me to go with them, I'd be like, okay, but we're gonna have to have a talk about some stuff. So yeah, Love and Monsters is fucking terrible. And like, series 2 of Doctor Who is draining to watch. Like, it must have been written and produced in such a hurry, because all of the care and passion that was in series 1 is just absent. I was really happy to find myself liking series 1, but way more than I expected to. And it's really sad to find series 2 to be worse than I remember, because I remember it being bad. Series 2 has 2 good episodes. Like, next episode is the Fear Her, and then it's the finale, and like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch them, guys. It's so bad. If series 2 was a new show being made by the Sci-Fi Network in 2006, no one would like it, no one would watch it. It's bad, it's just bad. If this is someone's favourite series, and it was your favourite series not because you watched it as a child and you have really happy memories associated with it, which, fair enough. We've all got nostalgia for things. Like, if you came to this as an adult and you watched it last year for the first time and you thought it was amazing, I am genuinely perplexed. Because did we watch the same show? Did I somehow get rough cuts of all the episodes before, like, they went back and fixed everything? Guys. Like, one of the reasons why I wanted to record this now is because, like, if I do this tomorrow, well, my memories of these episodes are still sort of fresh. But, like, my memories of the episodes are fresh, because I watched these episodes yesterday, the day before that. Like, I watched Love and Monsters today, Impossible Planet and Satan Pit yesterday, and Idiot's Lantern the day before that. I've watched all these really recently, but I'm struggling to remember a lot of the details because it's all just fucking slop. I didn't want to record this tomorrow because, like, I would hopefully communicate the strength of my feeling on this, but I wanted to communicate now, do this now, because, like, I don't know if this comes across, because, like, I have quite a flattened affect. I have, like, I don't have a monotonous speaking tone exactly, but, like, I don't emote a massive amount. I don't know. So I don't know if it is coming across. I'm not angry that these episodes are terrible. I am extremely disappointed, but mostly I feel drained. When Doctor Who is, let alone, like, when it's as good as it can be, leave those aside, when it's just good, it is invigorating and life-affirming and joyous and fun and exciting and sometimes absolutely terrifying. And, like, I was watching this show, which can be just astonishingly good, and I just was... I felt as if it was sucking the life out of me. That really feels like an exaggeration to say, but at the same time I can't think of a better way to say it. And, like, I'm probably going to carry on watching it in some form or other, but I'm not going to cover every episode now, because I don't think I have anything interesting to say about... The only insight I had about Idiot's Lantern was, hey, they dealt with the abusive relationship in that episode really badly, And, like, they're doing a Hitchcock thing, I think. Isn't that weird? Like, the level of my critique this today has been, like, not good. Because there's just so much that's wrong. So, like, I'm not sure I'm going to do any more of these episodes. I don't know, guys. I just don't fucking know. I had some, but yeah, because I might not do anymore, I had some things, some miscellaneous thoughts. Okay. Oh yeah, God, fucking Torchwood. Torchwood. The mentions of Torchwood in this are so vestigial. They're so like, they're so just. They mention Torchwood in every episode, and it feels perfunctory. Like, Russ, honey, you can't just mention Torchwood and hope that counts as an overarching storyline. I mean, you can. He did. In multiple episodes in Series 2, the Doctor has done Moffat style, I'm great, I'm the oncoming storm, like, oh, I'm so old, you don't want to mess with me, I'm the fucking Charlie Big Potatoes. And, like, no, those don't get called out. I think there's one at the end of Rise of the Superman. None of those get called out in these, like, videos where, like, oh, Moffat made the Doctor too much of a protagonist. Like, oh, he just keeps writing speeches about how amazing the Doctor is. And it's like, yeah, 12's doing this in this episode, in this series as well. Similarly, sometimes people say the companion is the protagonist and then Moffat made the Doctor the protagonist. I don't think that's true. In either series, really. There are some episodes where companion is much more front and centre. There are some episodes where the Doctor is front and centre. They're co-leads. Like, the show is about them. There isn't a single protagonist in Doctor Who. The companion is usually the point of view character. That's true. But that's not the point of view character. Is not always the protagonist. What a surprise. People who make bad faith arguments about Doctor Who don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. Surprise. Yeah, no one is doing anything in most of these episodes. Like, some stuff happens. Everyone's really passive. Usually people take, like, one or two actions. Like in Idiot's Lantern, Rose spots the television in this abusive family house, like having some red lightning around. She follows the TV cable into the wall where red lightning is sparking, and she then goes to the TV shop and goes, hey, you're selling really cheap TVs, what's up with that? And the guy who's in there, who's like being blackmailed by this evil alien, is like, oh, I knew this would happen. And he locks the door to the shop and he goes, okay. And he sort of tells Rose what's going on. And Rose, like, can't back anything up. She's like, she was clever enough to deduce that the television has something to do with the people losing their faces, and she makes the deductive leap to see where the televisions came from. Tick, good job, Rose. But, like, she then can't do anything with it. She's travelled with the Doctor for ages by now. Why can't you? She doesn't. She's all bark and no bite. She doesn't have anything to actually offer apart from some, like, extremely basic deductive skill. Like, she didn't do anything. Neither does the Doctor, really. Oh, mate. In the Satan pit, the fucking planet is falling into a black hole, everyone's dying, and the Doctor just, like, stumbles back and hits the TARDIS, and that's just, get out. That's just so bad. The treatment of Mickey is so bad. If Stephen Moffat had written Mickey these episodes in exactly this way and treated Mickey in exactly the same way, people would be writing massive think pieces about how racist Stephen Moffat is. It's like, and yeah, all the in Love and Monsters, the Doctor has a literal fan club, and Harry thinks Moffat made his stuff about the Doctor. Like, no, this has always been the case. It's almost as if okay. Good news, you never have to hear me go on about how toxic the internet discourse about Stephen Moffat is again. And I do need to say, to be clear, Stephen Moffat has said some deeply shitty stuff. He is not perfect. He has made some sexist stuff in his tenure. Like, there's a web, they did some web episodes where, like, people, like, the Doctor and Rory, like, almost caused the end of the world because Amy wore a short skirt, right? Like, we can look at a body of work and go, hey, that bit's fucked up. Hey, that bit's fucked up. But these fucking nimrods, like, go, hey, there are a couple of fucked up bits here and there. All of it must be bad for some reason. Anyway. I want to go and watch something good now.